Alright, welcome back everybody. April 14th, 2023, and we've had a record-breaking, believe it or not, earthquake take place in Indonesia just moments ago. A 7.0 earthquake, probably the largest in about 25 years for this area of the world. We have seen bigger quakes as you move into the New Caledonia, Fiji, Tonga area, but this particular spot of Indonesia, near TUBAN, has not seen a quake of this size in a long time. Like I said, about 25 years. Not only that, but take a look at the depth of this thing. We are looking at a 594 kilometer in-depth earthquake. Now this is off the coast of Indonesia, and just doing some simple math, think about this for a second, 362 miles in depth. That means there is something going on in the crust of the earth, deep down in the crust. And I can't stress this enough, but this is all we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks, is what has been going on with the different space weather effects we've been having, the CMEs, the sun constantly erupting, and also the Jupiter, Sun, and Earth alignment that I believe is responsible for not only that 6.0 plus earthquake in the southern Kermitic area of Russia, but then leading to that massive volcano blast we just talked about yesterday. My friends, if you do not know about the significance of planet alignments, I suggest you do some research, because many times people fail to understand just how big our sun and other planets are, and they have magnetic effects on each other, specifically when they are in a straight line. In fact, you can go ahead in time on this website up to basically any year you want to and find different planet alignment. We just so happen to be in one right now with Jupiter, which happens to be the biggest planet we have with the most moons, and it's no coincidence why this stuff is taking place while this alignment is happening. So let's get into some more details about this quake. Now keep in mind, just 24 hours ago we had the 6.0 off Port McNeill, Canada. A very large quake for this area. Did not reach that Juan Fuca / Blanco fracture zone area where that stepstone is right there, but within the Cascadia subduction zone. This has been a hot spot specifically for Western California for well over 2 weeks now. If we take a quick look at what the sun has been producing, last week was a very busy time. April 8th, April 9th, April 10th, and the 11th, we had reoccurring M-class solar flares. Now since then, up to current time, it's been a bit quiet, but you got to keep in mind a lot of this energy takes time to reach Earth, and there is residual energy afterwards. Specifically when you have those back-to-back CMEs, they kind of pile up on top of each other, and that energy and those solar particles are consistently hitting Earth's magnetic field. But this earthquake just seems a little different to me, specifically based on the depth. Again, this one's reading 599 kilometers on Volcano Discovery. They have ranging magnitudes anywhere from a 7.2 to a 6.3, so they kind of go into the middle there. But I'm going to go ahead and pretty much say that this was at least a 7.0 earthquake, based on the fact that how many people felt it in relation to how deep this thing was. Right here you could see it was a very sharp, jagged earthquake. It did not last long, almost like an extreme jolt, and then a little bit of residual little quakes after. We do have one aftershock that is on the map right now. Very quickly, here are some of the sensors that actually picked this earthquake up, and now you get an idea of what I'm talking about. Many of them reading 7.0, including the USGS. So as of right now, they're calling it a 6.6 at 632 kilometers. Now if we do our math one more time, that pushes it closer to 400 miles under the surface of the ocean. And there is a rule of thumb that we've seen time and time again, that when you get these deep, large earthquakes, specifically a 7.0 at nearly 400 miles in depth, chances are within the next 48 hours we're going to see something larger and more shallow within this region of the world. Again, I always talk about this specific part of the world right here because it produced one of the biggest tsunamis we've ever seen. This was a long time ago, but this area has also been getting hit. In fact, if I switch to 30 days, we can look at an earthquake right here 5 days ago, a 5.3, directly in the exact area where that large earthquake struck, causing that tsunami that has basically gone down in history as the biggest tsunami we know about. For those of you that want to come read the user reports, these are people in this area that have come onto the website and reported exactly what they felt felt. And once again, we are getting everything from light shaking to people literally watching things falling off their walls. Damage has taken place in some parts of that northern edge of the island because this quake was off the coast. But when it really gets real is when you start reading these reports of people talking about what they felt and what their experience was when this earthquake happened. So I'll leave the link for this for you guys. And again, it is no coincidence that within a 24-hour period, basically across the entire Pacific Ocean, one end to the other, a 6.0 taking place off the coast of Canada. And then, as I said, 24 hours later, one of the deepest and largest earthquakes we've seen in nearly 25 years in this part of Indonesia. This is not some random event going on. This is not just a coincidence. This is not just the earth acting in a normal way. There is something going on. And I know many of you have your own beliefs about what causes this type of stuff. You can go the scientific route, or you can go a little deeper and understand that we are in specific situations that would enhance these types of things to happen. There is a massive gravitational pull when it comes to Jupiter lining up with the sun and with the earth. Even though Jupiter is super far away, it doesn't matter because we're not taking into account how big these planets actually are. Jupiter being the biggest, then we have our star, and then we have Earth directly behind it. There's energy being shot back and forth consistently during planet alignments just like this one. So I highly suggest you come check this out. This website is called SolarSystemScope.com. You can look into the future, you can go back in time, and you can go check out when the next significant planet alignment will be, and I guarantee that there will be some significant effects on the Earth when that happens. And finally, I just want to show you something very quick. In just the last 2 weeks, moving into that 3-week period, look at all these significant earthquakes we've had. Again, we just had the 7.0 near Indonesia. We're still waiting on news about damage and or hopefully no loss of life. We had that 6.5 earthquake in Kamchatka 10 days before the eruption of the very large volcano. On April 2nd, we had the 7.0 in Papua New Guinea. That was at 70 kilometers in depth. That had damage and I believe loss of life. We had this 7.0 chromatic region area earthquake, which is very close to the Tonga volcano that erupted, that shook the entire globe like a bell. And then take a look at the United States. We had a 4.0 downgraded earthquake in Oklahoma that caused damage. When was the last time you heard about damage causing earthquakes in the United States? It's been a while, but unfortunately, I think it's something we're gonna have to get used to. A 4.5 in Ferndale, California. This was on the 21st. If you guys remember, we were doing a live video and they put a 4.5 in Ferndale, then removed it right off the map. And many of my subscribers saw this happen in real time. So I don't know what they're doing over there on the West Coast as far as the buoy testing, the uptick in earthquakes. It is very hard to believe that this stuff is not all connected, and we need to be very vigilant and very aware. And for those of you that live on the West Coast, and even not, we're talking about the middle of the country now, the New Madrid fault line, basically earthquakes in random places. Please have some sort of plan, any sort of safety measure that you and your family would be able to take advantage of if something like this were to strike your area. That includes weather as well. That'll be in another upcoming video about how exactly the sun influences weather and why I believe those tornado outbreaks were the result of a solar storm enhancing them. Alright my friends, I was rambling there a little bit, but I had to get this info out to you. I'm sure you'll be hearing about this throughout the day, but the largest earthquake in 25 years just struck near TUBAN, Indonesia. They're calling it a 6.6, but we know the truth. This thing was at least a 7.0 at nearly 400 miles in depth. Alright my friends, shout out to Canada, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, bye bye.
Stop right there, my friends. If you have not already, click that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Click all and you will get all notifications from this channel. And trust me, you won't be disappointed.